What's more? Alright, go ahead.
Calling this meeting to order at 5:36 P.M., December 10th, 2025. Moving to determination of quorum. And then public comments. Public hearings. And then none, so next to approval of minutes. I motion to approve minutes for November 12th, 2025. My name's not in here, I was here.
Okay. Okay, so we can just, we can amend the motion to approve the minutes reflecting Jessica Velasco's presence at that meeting. Okay. And then you second that motion? I'll second it. Perfect, and then we'll see in table.
I.
Everybody voted aye. Okay, so.
Moving on to the next information discussion items. A update from our park supervisor.
I'm ready, that's it. No, I forgot. All right, update on the parks. I'm gonna start off with coconut. Wanna go down a little bit and then stop, so you have any questions and then, so I don't just throw everything at you. So the coconut park. The construction for the sidewalk from. The entrance of Manual Paint all the way. To the park. They got that going already. It's from Big Bang Concrete. And we're waiting on his scheduling, see when he's gonna start. And that leak, that we told you about. Still, the water department is giving me the runaround, whatever, so I think I'm gonna try my best and just see what I can do with it. Just fix it, cause I need those restrooms open. So, but that's looking good already. And then, on the scoreboard. We're pending the mounting brakes, we never got those. So we're waiting on those, so we can install it, that's on International Field. So. That'll be when the brackets come in and then. You know, I'll give you all the heads up and all that. And then, of course, with, pending update on the. For the school with Saul Ross and all that on the fields, I guess you know a little bit more about that. So we're still on that, on the. The manufacturing field. And then, last meeting when I come, we're trying to. Relocate one of our storage buildings. And we didn't know, it's one of those old buildings, so these new trucks, they're not wide enough, so. We're looking for somebody else. To put our building over there at the park. So. When we get that, I'll go ahead and. Let you all know on that. And then, the fall softball is still going on. They're still practicing and they're still going to. They're using, the field's pretty good and all that. And then, of course. We have to keep mulching, but we don't rake the whole parks, we just mulch them. And then we're still winterizing, but of course we have to mulch first, so we don't winterize just the leaves. So. We're doing that and then. I don't know, somebody had asked about the sprinklers, I turn them off on December 1st. And then I turn them on probably late, March, depending on the weather. So that's all on Coconut Park, if you have any questions on. On that one.
What was the job, you mentioned at the top of Big Bend Concrete doing the job, what was that?
That's gonna be a sidewalk. From the entrance where Manual Paint is. Right to our left, it's gonna be curb gutter and like 6 foot of sidewalk, so it could be better. You know, for, of course, people with wagons, wheelchairs, whatever, but the most problem we have right now is when that water races there, when it rains.
Yeah.
It just like pours into that field and takes all the material all the way to first base. So with that,
Okay.
we're gonna prevent it, detour it a little bit more with that.
Thank you.
All good? All right, Medina Park. We got that tree loving care. Company out of Lubbock, and they removed the 2 pine trees. And also the stumps that were left there. Went ahead and shredded them all the way down, so it looks great. And just being pine trees, in my opinion, I think we wanna get some oak trees in there, but probably 2 for each one that we took out. It'll take longer, but I think they're better off for the weather and beetles and all that. But I mean, whatever we decide, I'll get with that and see what's the best trees we could plant there, or whatever.
So you will be replacing them?
Yes, yes. Yeah, every tree that doesn't grow or gets cut down, I try to replace it with 2 instead of just 1.
And what was the reason for moving that? Or those 2? Or
They were dead.
dying? They were dying, oh.
Yeah, no, they were dead already, I was gonna paint them green, but they didn't let me.
And-
Right.
Fair enough.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
It was cheaper.
Right.
And then also, there, I know we had some work orders on the swings, they were pretty bad shape and everything. So we had some, new swings there, we replaced those. And, that's on Medina Park. That's all I have on that part. And then, Pueblo Nuevo. So, TT Electric got the bid for all the electricity there, the box, everything, the lights and all that. So we're waiting on him, so see when he's gonna start. And then also the barbecue grills, the barbecue pits, we installed those already. It'd be nice if we had shade, but probably not till next budget. And then on the bathroom enclosure, by SS Masonry got that, and he got the bid on that one, so we're waiting, hopefully he can start this month. And then from there, I guess we'll go on to the next step with that. And other than that, we just have our regular maintenance. What we do daily, in and out. And another thing I'm gonna point out. So this year already. With all these new projects, they got approved and everything. Well, my budget's already like, have to move money around and everything. So. I pretty much exhausted it, and with this has to last since, of course, till October. And that's gonna be like, really all parks maintenance, whatever, we need. And. But if I do get any other big project, whatever, we're gonna have to find somebody somewhere. So. But other than that, I'm gonna stop the projects for right now, let these go. And go ahead and get them done. And then start looking for new ones. And all that, but I think that's all I have for y'all today. Any questions?
Yes, no, but I have a question, does the city have, any employee or anybody that has the, CPRP certification, or is the, it's basically so they know all the regs and inspections and all that for each park and all that.
For the what?
For the parks, as far as like, there's a regulation on, how much distance you need for the swings, how high they have to be,
Oh.
how much mulch, there's a couple of certifications. CPRP and then, or a CPSI. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, but I know it came up before.
Yeah, the Certified Parks and Recreational Professional certification that
Yeah,
most cities have one of the employees on, so when you're doing projects, that way.
yeah, that, and then the.
They can
maintenance on
oversee that, and then there's also as that goes along, usually a manager or maybe the new recreational coordinator could have that as the safety inspector.
Yes.
Can you repeat those,
Yes, it's Certified Parks and Recreation Professional. Yes, CPRP. It's a
CPRP?
yeah, it's a certification that a lot of municipalities will have at least one employee.
Certified professional recreational.
Certified Parks and Recreational Professional, yeah, they use all the acronyms. And then the other one was a Certified Playground Safety Inspector. And
What was the acronym for that one?
CPSI.
CPSI?
Yeah, and that just may be something to look forward to when, you know, for hiring a recreation coordinator or whatever, just because of. I think you have better grant money, you have different things that you can do if you have somebody kind of overseeing that with who's certified. Is all, it's just something that, because, you know, then you also can make sure the parks are safe.
David, I got a quick question. Any new, I didn't hear you talk about Baines Park. What's going on up there? Just normal, irregular, just maintenance?
Yeah, that's
Things
just
like that.
regular maintenance, I'm waiting on a timer. So Michael could install it in there because that timer's like shot. Been there since '90s, I think. So,
That's for the sprinkler system or?
yeah,
Or for the lights or what?
and I know back in the day, I mean, personnel who was there, but when I asked water department, I would like to get some type of pressure pump, whatever, because there's no pressure there. And it's just like, and you look at it from an aerial, it looks like a target, you know, instead of, you know, doing a 40 feet each sprinkler, it's only doing like 7 feet. So I know I asked them before and the electric was there, so I'm not sure it's gonna need electrical work. But if we could somehow either find money, grant, whatever, we could get a pump so we could push that water and it's a good looking park, especially when it rains, but you know, with this drought, and now it's just a sticker patch. That's all it is. All good.
You can stick around for the next one. You could stick around for the next one as well, the next items that are cool.
So moving on to the next item, an update on the municipal pool endeavors for the upcoming season. For the pool, updates, I'm gonna do the same thing as, David did, I'm gonna go item by item, and then at the end of the section, if you have any questions, then I'll gladly answer, and we'll go from there. For the pool, the 7M Fabrication has been awarded the bid for the pool's electrical work, including the junction box, wires, and panel repairing. We're pending on their schedule for them to, go and start repairing that as soon as possible. The in-house repair of the broken pool countertop is already scheduled to begin this month. It's pretty much the broken tile that was on top and the border of that, we're gonna have that already started. The needed hand sanitizer according to the inspection, the dispensers, those have arrived and they're gonna be installed this month as well. The Gabriel's Pool Repair Company, which was a third company that we had sought the quotes for the leak repair and any other possible repairs, they're no longer going to be submitting the quotes. They're pretty much non-respondent, so we're just gonna take them off. I'll still have to include it into our bid, with that notation that we did seek a third company, but they're non-responsive. On November 21st, we had Expert Pool Services, Landmark Aquatics, and Donnie from Texas Pool Repair Services. They met on the pool site for a proper inspection. And the purpose for that was to have Donnie's professional recommendations for both companies to prepare quotes for the leak repair and the recommended protective coating, liner, and other pending repairs there if possible. Donnie has submitted his recommendations based on that counseling during the inspection and requested several different quotes from both the companies. Both the expert pool services and Alarm Aquatics have actually contacted me since I got back from my surgery. And they have informed me that they will take in 1 to 2 more weeks to get all those quotes ready and submit it to me. Once those quotes are received, I do plan to move forward to complete the final budget analysis with our financial department, which per council I was awarded to, allowed to have until the end of January to be able to have that set. The list of the list of the quotes that were requested. Landmark sent me a list of those. And it's the pump leak repair, the filter media replacement, pool resurfacing with the plaster option, pool resurfacing with the PVC liner option, pool crack caulking and extension joint replacements, pool lane lines and transitional ropes, and pool ADA lift. This thing list was also something pretty much similar from the expert pool that they'll be sending me that as well. The needed signage has been already ordered. I worked with that with Mr. Donald today. And we already got that submitted and that the order has been placed. As far as the pool, that's pretty much the update. All the other little repairs and little things that needed to be done that we had as secondary priority, other than those four priorities. I already have some quotes on that and we're just pending for me to get everything to get that budget. And this is like mentioned before that the end of January. Any questions for the pool section?
Are you still recommending keeping the pool closed for the 2026?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I mean, the main repair is still pending right now, two weeks. They said max, but I'm hoping, right? That 2 weeks that they'll send me those quotes, and that's just for me to be able to start reviewing the quotes, start following the protocol as we need to go. Meet with my financial department, to see how we're gonna go about it, what's gonna be selected, so that's definitely gonna take some time there. That's not including, the following items that I'm gonna mention as far as with the recreational coordinator, which I will include. Thank you, for Mr. Donnie for those certifications. I'll definitely look into that and place it into our,
Maybe just have where they have so much time to get them, or that's usually what they do, they have 6 months or whatever, I mean, it's that way it's.
definitely. I'll include that with, recreational position. Any other questions for the pool?
I had one.
Uh-huh.
On page 9, under other suggestions, implementations, improvements, number 4 said, sure. Under Roman numeral 3, number 4 said permanently closed with cement the non-operational children's pool section due to drainage issues. And I was just curious, what's been kind of the history of that kids pool and when did it get so bad that we're like, I mean, we're just gonna cover it with cement. Am I understanding that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's a suggestion. I'm actually gonna invite David to kind of relay more on that.
sure.
He definitely had a good idea. With those others, of course, they're all the way to the end. Once we get all the primary repairs and done,
Sure.
then that's something that we're looking forward to try to improve our pool.
Yeah.
It's just with all the years since what's 60 something. It's just been putting a Band-Aid, because we didn't know.
Yeah.
Nobody knew. You just think, oh, well, let's just put, some sealant or whatever.
Sure.
And not understanding the weight, of the water, like, Donnie had explained everything, because it's like, well, yeah, so all we were doing is just putting a Band-Aid, and every year it was just getting bigger
Every year.
and bigger and
And
bigger.
this is for the kids pool, right?
Yes,
Okay.
so now it's like this big, I mean,
Yeah,
might as well,
yeah,
in my opinion,
yeah.
go big, get it done with, and you don't have to worry what 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
Maybe, hopefully,
He's talking about the little kid.
Yeah.
That's over on the side, the one on,
Yeah, it's the little round pool right out on the side.
The little
I was
section.
just curious, what was the history with that? When
Oh, that
I thought
one?
it was functional, you know, has it been a while?
No, I guess once they redid all the plumbing on the outside and all the concrete work,
Mhm.
they just cut it off. So there's no supply over there.
I gotcha.
And that's another project that I was trying to get, the contractor to knock that little fountain down and level it out. And then we could put a shade structure for more seating or whatever.
Which is included in that other suggested,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
things that we want to do. I think with the pool will definitely, the facility will, you know, have better, you know.
Appearance.
Yeah, appearance, and then it would offer more seating and shading, cause we don't think that we have enough shading for the amount of, citizens that have been able to use the pool right now, so we think. Might as well, it doesn't get used, there's issues from it since 1960, as you mentioned, and they'll cover it up, put some more shade and seating.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the polls? Okay, I will be moving forward to the next section of that on the update will be the recreational coordinator position. The position has been posted. And we so far have received 2 applications. Which right now are being currently reviewed and, which reviews will be getting scheduled, we're pending on the HR for that. We are planning to extend the posting of the recreational coordinator until fall because we're trying to see if we get any more interest or more applications. For that position or can hopefully get someone that does have experience and then we'll address it if we do, accordingly. That's pretty much as far as in the position part. Is there any questions as far with that? I'll be moving to recreational coordinator office setup after this. Anything as far as with the recreational position? Okay. For the recreation. Yes.
No, do these two applicants, do they have experience or they just somebody that wants to?
None as recreational coordinators for what I saw, so I still need to review the applications and then before the interviews. I know that one of them has, activity coordinator for the schools, but that's.
Okay.
Well, like I said, we're gonna try and keep it open a little bit longer. To see if we get any interest, it has been posted for 15.75 an hour, or negotiable pay. If they have experience, that's what was approved during council, and so that's what we're going. Any input or?
Don't get done for that position, if you don't want to.
What's that? Yeah. 15.75 an hour.
That's zero.
And again, we were approved that if there is experience, then we would definitely try to negotiate. We would have to these salaries for 2026 or this 25-26 period have already been budgeted according to the minimum. There was, I know with council, we were approved to try and go within the minimum part of the bracket all the way to the maximum part of the bracket. Unfortunately, what I discovered is that the budgeting was done towards minimum, so we don't even have room to try and get to a midpoint. Which we have a plan though. Our solution is if we do find someone that has the experience and we're gonna negotiate a salary, we're gonna try to do an amendment and try and see where we can get the funds from to allocate it for that position. And so far, we'll,
In the posting.
We'll
you
do it
have the
until
dollar
then.
amount? In the posting, you don't have the dollar amount or
let me
is
see the posting.
Um,
I know. HR
usually,
told me
yeah,
the posting.
usually, I mean, we will start usually at the lower one, We had a compensation study, there's a whole back.
No, my question is, like, in the ad itself.
Yes,
Is
it
it?
starts, it shows the posting, starts at 15, 75 or whatever the starting rate is. And there is room, as she said, to negotiate, but it would require a budget amendment, because these salaries.
Right.
Change, by would need to be done by ordinance.
Is it required to put the salary? I just wonder if you may get some more people interested, maybe they're at the $17. And so at least you're getting them in to have that discussion instead of them to see 1575 and say, don't know. They
A
don't.
lot of people will, we have on our application a spot for them to put a desired salary, and so they will try to negotiate. If they feel they qualify.
Right.
But you're just saying that it goes back from 15 to 7.
No, I'm just saying leave it off, and then if you get an applicant, then that discussion starts.
Are you suggesting that, is it possible to just
Um,
post it without
we
an amount?
always post it.
Okay, yeah, and that's all.
It's better
yeah.
to be
Be
considered as
transparent.
completely waste people's time if it's nowhere near their desired salary. Better to let them know what the starting point is.
And again, that one was like said at a compensation study, they did a market study for some cities of our size.
Right.
To that nature, and there's a bracket, so I mean, we'll definitely work with the individual, but right now we are budgeted at the lower end, so we're obviously gonna offer that at the lower end, and if they wanna negotiate, they can definitely negotiate that.
Any further questions?
How much longer y'all planning on leaving that open? How much longer do you think?
It actually already closed on December 9th, if I'm not mistaken, so.
We were approved to, least extended to the end of December.
I know we're trying to get this.
So in what I told Adrian, whenever they gave me is, I said, we posted it as being closed on December 9th. Let's go ahead and let's proceed with the closing. Take a look at the applicants we have, interview them, and if we feel that they're not the right fit, we'll look at it again. But I do also feel that we position ASAP. We were aiming, our target has always been to have it built by January. And I think that it's important that we stick to that, as we have a lot to do.
So far, I think it's requested for,
It's not posted yet, so. I just checked, it's not posted this yet, we can follow up tomorrow if they thought. But, my recommendation again was to let it close, move forward with the interviews for the applicants, and tell them like.
Any other questions? Okay, for the recreational coordinator, being optimistic, we already have it to be more cost effective. We were planning to do like a portable building at the yard, because, there's no room here, there's definitely no room at my office at the yard. But we were able to get authorization to have them at the old Sunshine House. And so I already have the crew and myself on board on that. We already moved some furnitures. I already went hunting for some used furnishings. I already ordered and received at least basic office materials. As much as I can think of that they can use to start off, and then we're gonna go ahead and see once we have someone there to give them at least that green light and leeway of being able to set up the office as they want according to what they need. I already ordered the laptop, and we did receive it, so once they're here, our company that we have, Link, is gonna help us set it up for her and everything with all the proper things, so we already have that. And we did get a small printer for them, but we also will be pending a new program that we're gonna have with printers and electronics for the whole city. We already have it. There's a specific type of printer that's gonna be allocated for his or her office for event printing and so forth. So that's already set. And that's pretty much, we're trying to move it as forward. I'm still pending on receiving some other furnishings there that will have it set for them.
My quick question on that, I know Silver Ross have a huge surplus area. Does the city ever go to the surplus?
I called
For
Yeah,
furniture?
yeah, it's on for furniture or anything, yeah. I
We
think.
we did it before, like, for a couple of desks and lockers and all that. And I think all we have to do is just, go over there, pick it out, and then itemize it and everything you want and what you want it for and this and that, and then turn it in and they should approve it and then call you and you go pick it up.
Yeah, Chewy.
Actually, yeah, so I did leave a couple of messages, I've called them, I haven't had a response, so I will forward an order. And I went hunting elsewhere for those used to furnishing, so I'll keep trying for the other stuff, but I've already pretty much got.
I'll follow up on
the
that.
basic, yeah. I did already have like. It's pretty much, there's a desk already went hunting, I already have a desk in there, and have the guys move it in, I already have bookshelves, so. Pretty much already got
Basics.
the basics.
Well, there's a desk on Hancock Hill, but you probably.
You know,
Shouldn't touch that one.
Get it
Probably-
down.
Probably shouldn't take
I
that
would
one.
probably do that as my last resort if I found that I wasn't finding any, I would be one that does that too, just to get it set up. As far as moving forward for the policy and documentation, I did already amend, did the ordinance amendment on draft, we're gonna get together to see if you did receive it. I did have a copy printed for me in case I didn't save properly. Gio and I did review which ones were recommended to place on the ordinance and which ones were just gonna be moved into policy and procedures. So now that I've already completed the draft for the ordinance amendment for them to move forward with that, then I'll be moving on to typing the new policy and procedures for that. And the reservation field guide. I just came back on the 3rd, so I'm playing catch up. Any other questions for that? That is pretty much it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Moving on to the next item. Discuss possible updates to chapter 74 parts of recreation to the Alpine code of ordinance.
Alrighty, so I added this one on to the agenda because we have been discussing updates to chapter 74. Ordinance amendments are always quite a process. The previous Parks Board, Iris, I think, was actually on the board at that time. She's the only one that was on the board at that time. Discussed changing the ordinance and amending it for quite some time, probably up to a year before we actually got it approved by the Parks Board, sent to City Council, and then approved last January. So I have included in your packet the current version of our ordinance. And that is the one that was approved in January. And as the Parks Board has heard from Adri, the last meeting, there are a number of different updates that we need to make. Really, I think what we've realized is a lot of the updates that we're looking to make, there really aren't too many. But I think a lot of them would be administrative in nature, so we wouldn't really have to memorialize by ordinance. However, I did want to include the ordinance, so we could basically facilitate a discussion to see what the Parks Board thinks and discuss any amendments that you all think should be included. And of course, in addition, invite Adri back up to discuss what amendments we're looking.
On section 74-4, use of park facilities generally. I did add to that the metal detectors. Of course, the wording will be subject to better usage with IGO and Alex. The use of any kind of metal detector shall be prohibited. And unauthorized digging and excavation. Excavation or digging is prohibited without prior permission from the parks supervisors. Also, electrical use will be added in section M. The use of electricity for fields or parks shall be determined and permitted by the park supervisor, subject to city manager approval. Two, on that same section will be the limitations, prohibited use and consequences of misuse and priorities shall be determined under the written or updated policy and procedure by the park supervisor and subject to city manager. That's it on that section. Any questions on that or? And then, on section 74-13, commercial activity. We're adding section C, which will be for field commercial classes and instruction. We're adding a person may not conduct classes or instructional activities for compensation in the field unless the person obtains a permit from the city and obtains a permit and completes a waiver of liability. Two, a person may not provide a free class or instruction as an inducement or advertisement for paid class or instruction unless the person has permitted from the city to conduct classes for compensation. Three, priority of use for practice in game fields. Fields are reserved free of charge for team practices and games to encourage and promote field use for teams over commercial activity or personal profit, with the exception of authorized fundraiser or special events. And four, permits for commercial use or practice in games fields will not be approved with the exception of authorized fundraiser or special events. That is pretty much all that we're recommending to add in the ordinance. All the other items that we had discussed in the prior board meeting, we're gonna be placing under, just like how you mentioned, under our policy procedures.
Just because we don't copy what you're reading, right?
No,
Okay.
you don't have it because this is just our draft. Once I included it on this, then it has to go to Jill and Alex to be properly written and worded accordingly. And then submitted to council.
And y'all do have a copy of a prior document that Adri sent, just with some of the amendments are included in the copy.
She read was there.
But not all of them, because she's continued to work since she compiled that document in the backwards.
And it's also a little different because the document was whenever we had a board meeting, but after our discussion, that's where we realized, well, some of these are pretty much just for ordinance and the other ones are just administrative, like mentioned, with policy and procedure. Would you like to add anything else or?
And of course, this is just a preliminary discussion, so y'all are welcome, you know, y'all are welcome to have this item again, you know, we can discuss it again. If y'all need more time to review this box.
Be able to, those suggestions will be able to be emailed as well, and then I'll be able to work on them in preparation. Any questions or follow-up for that?
Well, I mean, it's been interesting, I think, an interesting journey, being that it's been a year almost since the new ordinance passed, and. You know, personally, one thing that I liked in the last ordinance that was changed, was that we extended the hours. I believe it's still, is it 10 PM now or 11 PM? It used to be, dusk till dawn or.
Yeah.
So I didn't like that, because I like going and walking in Coconut Park, you know, sometimes it gets dark.
I could put it
It gets
till
dark
10.
early, so.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the prior ordinance, there was very little structure, so we've already implemented a lot. I think it's gone well. I haven't seen any big issues, have y'all, in the last year?
I mean, I think we're really good.
I think the only issues that we've come across have to deal with the fields. We're tackling some of those issues with this ordinance update, so.
And that's with the electrical, like the field light, well, we all know that that's
And this is
the
the first,
main
yeah,
field light at the Coconut Park.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something
This is
way
a-
beyond than what we can do.
the first year that they had the softball. Cause they didn't have it before. As soon as All Stars was over, maybe they played one or two more tournaments and they would stop. And this time they're going all the way through. So that's where everybody started. Well, I want the field. Well, I want the lights, and so we have to put all that in there so it could be like, okay, well, wait your turn. This is the way it's gonna go down. So I think it's working in the way they set it up. I think it'll work.
So they've been turning off the lights and stuff, doing what they're supposed to.
Yes.
I noticed them on
So far.
late in the evening, so
Yeah, Rush-
everybody's kind of blind. with
Yeah, Rush
everything.
Carter will message me every day or every time he's like 8 and under or 14 and under. Lights are on and then he'll say, hey, lights are off. Feels drug and everything. He's real good about that, so. But,
Do you reminder on the Coconut Main game field light, or, I have received calls where they believe that it's just like the light bulb on that. It's not, unfortunately, it's an internal electrical work from it being hit by
This one?
Little League,
the lily,
Oh.
yeah. And that was hit in the past by
like,
lightning, and so it's definitely, they looked into it, he's had companies go out there, and it's just.
Rio Grande went out there,
Yeah,
Well,
I remember,
It's
I remember talking to
internal
them about
stuff
it.
that.
and they replaced the fuses. I bought some, but they wouldn't last, so they don't know if the wire got fried so much down or,
Sure, yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean,
and then to put LED lights, I don't know the policies of, we have to follow because of the local authorities,
Dark side, yeah.
so.
So, and I think that's something that it's been brought to the council's attention of redoing that field also, but it's gonna come in phases and with a lot of help of other entities and things like that. You know, we just approved, I think we did right the other day.
We discussed it, and we have for official approval on January sixth, some upgrades to International Field.
Yes,
The internet and Big and Little League, remember? Doug McIntyre came in here and talked to us.
Yes.
Yes, so little things are, in the works and things like that, so, which is good, it's been a long time coming,
oh,
but
yeah,
I know a lot of this.
Big projects.
Yeah, so, it's good to see that the community's getting involved with a lot of things and a lot of people, times have changed, so, yeah, a lot of this baseball, softball, pretty much all year round now, so, like I mentioned it before, our little community, this is a lot of the stuff, there's all the kids have, so why not try to help out with whatever we can city-wise, and do whatever we need to do to help them out, keeps them, keeps them going, you get the kids involved and they're doing something all year round instead of just at home sitting around watching TV, playing video games, things like that, so it's a good thing.
I would like to update as far as like from the last Parks Board meeting where I submitted the new updated reservation forms with those stipulations in there for them to be aware. We have already been receiving a lot of calls to try and have our fields reserved. The idea that they can reserve the field the whole year. It's gonna be something that we're gonna be updating on the policy procedure, where we're gonna place a limitation of. And that's something, I don't know if you want to suggest, but we were thinking of no more than 4 months
Yeah,
max.
Mr. Torres, right? I think the last time we had this meeting, Joseph mentioned something about like quarterly or something, 3-4 months. Just so that everybody gets a shot at using them, not just one person coming in January. And they got it till January, spread it out between everybody else, and everybody gets a chance, and then when that time comes around, well, here's your turn again,
Yeah.
And I do think implementing something like that, every, I would say 3 months.
And that's gonna be part of the policy procedures
Yeah.
that we decided we're gonna do. And part of the idea, because I did already see that it helped out. To kind of regulate that with a couple of coaches that have already called. Is that I'm also gonna be having the front office staff, whenever someone comes in and they do a field reservation. Is that I'm gonna have them, give them a copy of the policy and procedures. Like that they're aware of that, there's no question, that's how the word of mouth is also gonna go through our sports leagues, where they will know ahead of time before calling. And then I'm also stressing to them to really look at the website because, it definitely saves them a lot of time and it saves us a lot of time to be able to have them already see what's available and what's not available instead of, these multiple, reservation applications that I'm getting. On dates that are already reserved or have already been blocked. And so I'll definitely save time. I know that I will be authorizing and with the reservations. And then we'll be setting the authorization on that. Once I see it's pretty much clear, I've already had the authorization of reserving it on the website and everything. And then he just.
So will it
second
start
it.
all over in January? 2026 start. You know, everything that's been reserved up to now ends at the end of the month, end of the year. And then come the new year, start over and everybody, whoever wants it has to come in then and
I
start.
think that would be better.
I would recommend doing something
Yeah,
like
'cause
that.
you don't wanna go from April to April. or
Yeah.
that
You
way.
know, every year, just start it all over, go, you know what, this is a schedule from January of 26 to December 26. And then following year, you know, January 27, you know, so on and so forth. You know, so that, you know, like David said, you know, someone's not coming in going, well, I want it from April to April. No, yeah, no, you get.
And even for the season, the baseball season, cause it's something that is gonna be updated on that policy procedure, again, administratively, it's not on the ordinance. Is that, a season, reservation opening. Pretty much, we were thinking of having that reservation open even in March, not. Cause everybody's trying to do it even from now, already reserving for that baseball season, and we know that practices pretty much start from March. Which I'm not wanting to open it up until pretty much March, first come, first serve.
I mean, I'll deal with it more often than, you know, we all do, so I mean, honestly, I think. My opinion, leave it to y'all's best judgment when you want to start it. And but I mean, I do recommend at the end of the year. It shuts down and then, all right, well, it's gonna open back up just so that somebody's not taking it. You know, from this day, this
Yeah.
year to this day, the following year, you know, just a recommendation.
Yes, absolutely, and we do have it already, and it's gonna be, and I think just alone. The restriction of no more than 4 months on a reservation is gonna be the major breakthrough for this because. It ends on the calendar for the computer website, it ends on my lot for paper logs, and they have to. Call back and try and reserve, and I'm not really permitting the reservation until after that is closed.
I have a question. If they reserve for profit, do we charge them a fee? As a city, do we charge them a fee? If they make profit?
We are not, we're not, we would have to, it's prohibited for the field.
Really?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
but for parks, there's other contingencies on the ordinance for, as, it was as. Through a permit application, and then it's pretty much by parks and the city manager where they'll approve it, and it's. Pretty much going to be special events or fundraisers, is not gonna be, for. Gain, financial gain, or business,
But if they're teaching soccer and they're making profit.
that's not gonna be permitted in,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So it's like,
That's
that's like having a. Little pitching or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I'm charging so much now, so you're just making money off the city, I mean, that's not right, I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
So
So,
maybe for a fee,
but that's the other thing, and if they would wanna pay and then to prove it, that's the thing. But, you know.
So what the current ordinance does, it does state, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, Adrian, that they could do it if we permit it. But we don't want to permit it because we want to encourage the use of the fields for teams and things of that nature. And we've run into issues where people were trying to run clinics and things like that.
Wow.
And it would interfere with full teams being able to utilize the field.
Which is why we're amending the ordinance to be worded where on the field specifically, they're not gonna be permitted, it's gonna be prohibited with the exception of fundraisers. Or what was the other thing, the fundraisers and
Or special events.
special events contingent on the city manager approval with that permit application and a waiver.
I have a question. When you said when they come and sign up, you're gonna be giving them a packet of the, all the rules.
It will be the policy and procedures,
Okay.
the administrative part, they won't have a copy of the ordinance. Of course, that's public use, once it's done and approved, the updated ordinance will be up on the website for anybody to view. But as far as the updated policy and procedures that were administrative of what we're gonna be adding, we're gonna give a copy of that with whenever they come in and reserve the field.
And I apologize for, I haven't looked at that. I'm curious about, from a Sul Ross perspective, our intramural fields. I know I've commonly seen like softball, baseball teams doing practices there. And they're sometimes interfering with Sul Ross people doing things. And so that's not an authorized field to be reserved for leagues, right? Not the,
Which
not
field
the,
is
not
this?
the ones that are, I don't actually know, those ones y'all mentioned last time, I'm like, I don't even know what those are.
Is it
I'm talking about the-
field inside the wall, right?
I'm
You're
talking
talking
about
about
the
turf field?
turf field, yeah, that they're often
So
rec leagues there.
the only ones that we're in charge of reserving that are part of it are the Sul Ross Field 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're not by that track. They're not by that facility.
Or
They're.
that pasture is.
It's
But
by that-
I'm wondering, and I'll look at the policies if there's anything in there about, let's say you go to the field that you want and you don't get the field you want, that's not an option for you to just use the turf field. Cause I see it all summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Right.
we need to make
That
that-
would be with
we need to
Sul
make that
Ross
more-
though. Cause
Yeah.
if they're using a Sul Ross property that has nothing to do with the ones that we're responsible for, then we can't really say anything. It would have to be a contingency that gets
Or maybe
added
that's-
in the Sul Ross policy and procedure.
Or perhaps the leagues need to make it
So,
clear.
and that, so Dr. Velasco, on something like that, cause we, years back. We had to go and ask Sul Ross for permission. And sign some paperwork and things like that, and then, cause I think we did it a few times, like a handful of times. But we went and did it the way we're supposed to, because we were told to go up to Sul Ross and then reserve it.
Yeah.
And, you know, they could either say yes or no, but they did allow us to, but I understand what they're saying, because there are things going on with Sul Ross, and a lot of the times, you know, by the time it's later in the evening, especially the intramural sports.
Yeah.
And then you got a whole bunch of kids and teams, and then they're throwing a fit. But at the end of the day, they need to realize that is Sul Ross property. Sul Ross has the first say in everything on anything up there, you know, not anybody else. But I think that's where the confusion
So
is
maybe
at.
there's more of just a communication with the leagues
Mhm.
to remind them of the policy for the
Mhm.
different, because if I don't know how it's listed on the softball and baseball. What are the field availabilities, if they see Sul Ross, I think that they might default to think
Yes,
that's
That's what
what
they
it
think,
is,
yeah.
and so there needs to be clarity. perhaps.
Yeah, and I think on here, y'all do say Sul Ross field 1, 2, 3, 4.
And then we have the address placed on the website.
And picture.
And a picture,
Yeah.
yes, because I did go and take pictures for
Oh, this?
everything.
That's
Yes. Yes, that's one of my first things that I wanted to tackle when I got into this position is I wanted to organize the website
Yeah, so
And-
anything on track,
and name
the
everything.
football field, the intramural turf field, that's all Sul Ross.
Yeah.
So,
Conclusion, I mean, it would be something that it would be between Sul Ross and between the leagues, which we have nothing.
Yeah.
in to say.
There was times they would go talk to Cannabelle or say, hey, can I borrow the field, you know, this week? Yeah, go ahead, you know. So,
Which I may add, the Sul Ross Field 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're not the city's property either. We have just been awarded, pretty much maintenance and reservation control for the kids, practices, sport practices, but that's it. As far as like improvements, as far as how it would be managed, other than that, it would be so. Any questions? I will let you know also as well to add is that the fields that are city property, when we reserve for sports, if it's not reserved, they can go use it. But with the contingency of whether if someone goes over there and says they have it, then they have to show.
Like, we have to, do they have to show proof? That's something that we
Yeah,
need
they
to do is showing proof. I mean,
Yeah,
because anybody can just walk up and say, well, no, we got a reserve, y'all gonna have to leave, but they gotta show.
It's on the website and then when she gives me the copies. So when they go over there and they tell me, hey. It's reserved before your paperwork. Yeah, matches with mine.
Mhm.
You need to get off, it's just like the pavilion. Anybody could use it. But as soon as you go over there and then and the paper's there saying, hey, I rented it, so you need to leave.
We're
It's
definitely
something.
doing like website priority,
But
but
I,
we're still,
because-
we still like to
And-
have the paper trail,
Yeah,
so
and
as
that's
soon as
the
I
thing
have
is-
it and it's signed and I've already did it, then he signs it and he has a copy and I also have my log.
Yes, and that's the thing to stress to the whoever's reserving it is, I probably carry a copy with you all the time.
yeah, that's what we
Tell
told
them,
him. Current.
you have to carry a copy because in case something like this happens, at least you have that there instead of going online.
Yeah,
Everybody's sitting there trying to figure it out. It's like, no, here it is. Something they can carry with them.
That, once we have the reservation confirmed and it's been approved. I guess what I can do is I can send it back to the front office for them to hand it to them, because other than that, I stay with the signed copy and I just do
Yeah, you can just make a copy of it.
phone approval and let them know it's already on the website, now it's confirmed, now it's yours. So I mean, that's something, added step that I can.
Yeah, and you just put on there, just be advised to carry that with them
yeah,
now.
that would be.
Whether they do it or not, at least you're letting them know,
Yeah.
so that, you don't run into any problems.
Yeah, then take a picture, whatever.
Take a picture with your phone, whatever,
It's there.
So I can, with that, I can do two things, either I can, once I stamped it with approval and signatures, I can call them up and request. I do call them and let them know it's already approved and on website, but I can, start requesting their email, so I can send them a scanned document of that. Cause I do not want to really put more responsibility for the front office, cause that's already something in addition that they have to do to help me out since I'm at a different building. So I'll start requesting an email for them, and if they do not have one, then I'll move forward to sending a copy to the front office so they can come and pick it up once it's approved.
Just trying to keep everybody happy.
Yes. Yes, I think that's our main goal for these years, is that for them to realize that for both the streets department and my parks department is to know that. We have someone in administration for the public works that is being able to organize, and that we're all on the same boat trying to make it easier and better for our community. It just takes little steps at a time, but we're definitely full forth giving priority to everything.
Alrighty, so I don't believe we actually transitioned to the next item, but we did touch on a lot of those things, which is discussing our discussion regarding City Fields reservation process and procedures. So I did want to just point out that in your packet, we did include the current rules, or how do you call it, the reservation policy that was last renewed in 2022 by the previous city manager. And that one, when she's renewed it, she had renewed it from the previous city manager as well, so that's been in place for a really long time. Additionally, Adri provided in the packet a City of Alpine reservation guide and an updated form that she made, I believe. And lastly,
Which will still be updated with more stuff.
Lastly, we did also come up with the Parks and Field commercial use permit application and waiver of liability in the case that we were going to issue a permit for commercial activity in the fields or in the park. It could be used for that purpose, although administratively, we aren't planning on approving any of those permits because again, we're trying to encourage the use for the teams. So I just kind of wanted to bring your attention to that. Please let us know if you have any thoughts on those, and then Adri can speak to those specific documents in a little more detail in her processes as well.
For the policy and procedures, so you see that were lastly updated for 2022, that's the reason why I'm updating. I mean, that it's, as you can see on that policy and procedures, pretty much ambiguous and vague as far as what a policy and procedure should represent. So once I am able to have, the proper time to update it and write it, I'll be sending it forward to Gio so he can have it ready for another park board meeting, whenever it's done. And pretty much what I'm going to be adding on that policy and procedure are those items that you did not see in the ordinance that I had mentioned before that I wanted to include. Those are gonna be on that policy and procedure, including the ones that we mentioned today. The guide, the reservation guide, that's something I had drafted just for me to guide myself out of, just verbal communications between my park supervisor and the public works director. So that's definitely gonna be updated once I'm done with the policy procedures and the ordinance. So whoever is going to, whether it's me or in the future anywhere, it'll be set for reservation guidance. Any questions or?
So I'm looking at the new reservation guide that you kind of have.
Yeah, that's the one that the reservation guide was the one that was done when I first started in the position and.
Oh, okay.
That it's definitely gonna be updated. It's just for y'all to see what I had been placed at the beginning. It obviously needs to be updated according to the new policies and
It's
procedures.
internal, right?
Yes, that was just internal. I just wanted to
Okay,
let you know what I had. But I'm definitely gonna be creating an updated version that's gonna be able to be available for
okay. Well, the only.
not only internally, but for
Yes.
the Parks Board meeting to see.
Well, the only reason I even brought it up, so I was reading it and it said Coconut Little League, only all-star sports clinics. Practice, manual pain, same thing, but now we're allowing other, just. Teams to use it also, so we're gonna open it up to that. Because that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, this year, just cause they started that fall ball. But
So are we gonna allow that?
not during the season.
Yeah, not during the season. But it doesn't say that up here. It says fields for games only, it's Alpine International, Little League. And manual paint. But when it's not in season, are they gonna be allowed to practice? Like all these teams that we got going on right now, manual painting. Is that gonna be allowed? Like we're doing after seasons and things like that.
That would be
Depends on
the parks supervisor and.
what goes on with
Correct.
manual pain and the school and.
Yes. But what I'm saying is, so if we're allowing to come in, also, if we're allowing that in manual painting, then Coconut Little League should be the same way. Allowing these teams to practice on their reserve.
Yeah. I mean, usually, after the season's done, I mean, they can practice. I've always let them practice, of course, the All-Stars comes first, they
Yeah.
practice first and then, but there's no. Winter league for them, so. And
There
still,
is.
if they're whining about the field, and it's softball and it's just, little drills, whatever, they can still use that field. So.
I would definitely, is it possible, okay, like for instance, now that you have that, cause that was just internal by what, was brought up to me, yeah, if you mark your markings, suggestions on that. Send it to my email. And then like that, it gives David and Eddie the time and to be able to view it and see if it's something that that they feel that they want to move forward with, or that they'll go ahead and place it on the guide or not. Because it will be interesting to know that's just what we had. That I guess has been being charged for I don't know how many years. Send me an email with that, red markings, and then we'll be able to discuss it, and then that's something that we can also bring forward for the next park board meeting.
Yes, we're definitely open to suggestions. Adri and David are doing a lot to make improvements and have great ideas. So want to get it in front of you all because y'all might have incentive, we know.
In case we miss something,
Because I mean, it's,
that'll back up.
times are ever changing, things are always evolving, what may have been that worked in the past may not be what necessarily works now,
I don't
always
think
keeping.
I don't think they really paid attention to it, they just like threw it out there. And now it's gonna be a little bit more procedures, and that way you can be like, oh, but this, we have a backup for everything. And of course, still encourage them to go out there and use the fields, that's what we want.
Not with keeping in consideration that we do have to firmly keep whatever guidance we do have, even though if it was internal. That's why we have it on the ordinance that, we're able to do those rules and regulations or our policies and procedures. According to what we see, to have a firm decision that is not gonna be overridden, because truth of the matter is that every individual is gonna wanna look for whatever is best for them. Well, I wanna have priority, I wanna have like the green light to do this. But we need to keep in mind that we need to be fair and square all across the board. We cannot say, yes, you're approved, but you're not. Or, yeah, let me go ahead and for this time allow you. We're creating these internal guides on our policy and procedures so we can have it firm across the board for it to be fair. Of course, being open to suggestions to whatever change you for the future.
I encourage you to go through all the procedures, everything we have, and if there's something that you think we should move, add, whatever.
Get together, send it
Yeah.
to me in one nice email. Not a bunch of separate ones, just one nice email, like before I will wait. Of course, I'm working right now, trying to get my deadline for the council with the full budget and all that, aside from other things that I'm doing, like my flood mitigation project. So it gives you enough time to kind of review that, see what you would like to be included on it, suggestions and so forth. And then once I receive that, maybe by the end of January, hopefully, then we can get together and I can start, drafting up the policy and procedures with all those suggestions.
Y'all have any thoughts on the reservation process or recommendations so far? Y'all have any,
Thank you.
would y'all like us to add it, I guess, to the next one, just to keep the discussion going? Pretty much all of these I figured would be good for that, right?
Is it okay if we get it for that's what I was saying,
For January?
for past January, just so you can give me a time to. Yes, to go after the suggestions and everything of what you have for the guide and for the policy procedures.
So as far as the ordinance is concerned, I could put that one on for next time, so y'all will have to come back and let us know about that. Schedule the reservation process for February. Not any other items you want to see on upcoming agendas? Right, and then, of course, at any time, if you do think of something, please give us.
Who would be the email, for like, we have a.
It would be, once in a while, I'll get to that, would it be you Portillo, that will gather everybody, their thoughts, and then
You can always.
have that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna say, probably better off with him.
Cause I could always send it to that. But
Oh, you're
welcome.
I'm just going over them just a while ago.
Moving on to the next
Thank you.
of action items. Okay, thank you. I think it's been good. Like that, we have a good group and I think we're just quickly actually making a lot of changes. So I think we're being very proactive and look forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank y'all. David.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we are moving on to item A for action items. Appointment chair of the park for the Parks and Recreation.
I think Iris has been here for quite some time. I think it would be a good chair, but I think any of y'all could be. I'm here to help whoever would like to. But if anybody would like to volunteer to be the chair of the Parks and Recreation Board, really just involves, you know, being in a leadership role and chairing the meetings and running the meetings, the most important part.
Cause Iris wanna do.
How do you feel about keeping it?
I want to do it and I want to keep learning more. Getting to you guys, why would love to do that.
Okay, perfect. We'll just need a motion in a
I
second.
make a motion that.
Second.
Okay, moving on to section B.
Oh, we're just getting a quick vote, just make sure.
Yes.
Thank you, perfect.
This one, appoint vice chair of recreation.
All right, and
I don't mind stepping up if somebody wants to.
Okay.
I've run board.
I move to nominate Donnie as vice chair of the Parks and Recreation Board.
I second.
okay, just take a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next one, secretary, appoint the secretary.
I have a question about that, right? And so I agree, you'll be here checking a lot. So is the city manager, city secretary usually at our meetings? Or
You
is
know,
this gonna be the?
in my tenure here, I've always come to the Parks Board meetings. I mean, there's been times that I will miss them. And the main function, in my opinion, of the secretary would be to help me or, you know, like that my deputy have like who made the motion, who seconded it, who's present, things of that nature, and the actual work text of the motion. That'd be very helpful for us in case I don't make it or somebody doesn't make it. But yes, I do try to.
Oh, I'm not volunteering,
Interested?
I take notes anyway, you see.
Right, I know.
I'm a note taker.
That would be perfect.
Well, I nominate.
Okay.
Then, if they want it.
Yeah, no, okay, yeah.
There's no.
Alrighty, any board member comment?
Can we introduce I'm sorry,
Me, Tony Garcia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You.
And, my name's Coleman Heidling.
Great.
I mean, this is my first time here, obviously. Do you wanna hear like a little bit about me or Coleman or any of that, or? I mean, I didn't
We're all
know
new,
if this
just so
was-
you know. I mean, she's been here forever, and then I came on, and she came on, they came on, and so it's all very new.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're kind of.
Cool. Well, what a share. So yeah, my name's Coleman. I've lived in Alpine, a little over 3 years. I'm married to Louise and we have, together, a little boy, Henry, age 3, and a little girl, not yet born, but coming soon, Lord willing. So, what brought me here is my job. I'm the pastor at the First Baptist Church of Alpine. And I love the parks. I use the parks all the time, every morning, multiple times, probably a day. But love, the outdoors, believer in what I've everything I've heard and all of that kind of stuff. So happy to be a part and use whatever, skills I have or whatever. So glad to be here. Thank you. Yeah, honored.
My name is Manny Garcia. I've been here a little bit over 3 years. I am married to Isadora Garcia, also happens to work for the city. And we have 3 children. One is special needs. And it's a long story, as up to why I'm here. And we go all the way back to my grandfather, but we decided to come here. It's a beautiful place and building my legacy. I guess I got more involved in this in Parks and Recreations because I have a special needs son who has autism, nonverbal. And I like to see more activities and stuff for our kids, and that's the reason I wanted to get involved, and not aspiring, for chairman or anything, just to be a humble servant, and it's a privilege to be here among you, to serve our community. That's the reason why I'm here. To build a future, for our kids and everybody.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Well, last thing I just
Board
want to,
now, right?
what's that?
We're completely full now.
Full.
We are good.
Yeah, nice.
It's been the first time in a long.
So beautiful.
There's a lot of good changes in the city. One last thing, just thank y'all for coming out and continuing to do what you're doing. I mean, I know y'all are way. You got this much stuff to do, and I'm sure spending 2 or 3 hours after work coming over here, we do appreciate it. It does help move everything forward and let us know what we can do to help out. So we really appreciate that. David, you can
Like I said, it goes both ways, really. We're definitely appreciated that you take the time and we definitely, appreciate the suggestions and everything, ideas as a mean.
Well, it's nice to see the passion and y'all too. You can tell y'all really care about what you're doing. You're a little overwhelmed.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Lunch.
Forward, and then hopefully now that we have a grant writer as well, like you mentioned earlier with the budgeting, we're for this year, but now that we have a grant writer, we're definitely look forward to projects and improvements for later.
Probably get another worker for next year. We got one who's been gone since 2 months.
Oh, yes.
Died. But he's not back yet. And then Danny, his wife, he had to take his wife for chemo, so I only had him half a day for 6 weeks. And then we got this flu going around, so one falls and it's like,
We appreciate it.
I have a question.
And overall, he literally is working with just 2 full-time workers
for
because
stretching memory, but
Yes,
I still don't grow. So I don't know.
I can.
the other 2 weeks.
Will we raise money for parks, with sponsors and putting their names up, and it's another way to.
Yeah, I really don't see a problem with it. It's just, the ordinance does state that the board can't administer projects, so I think it would be most beneficial to just kind of get in front of council and get their authorization. I really don't see a problem with it. It's just keeping track of the funds and, whether or not the city would be, receiving those funds and how that's gonna look process as well, but.
The parks will
It's a good idea.
receive donations and.
You can
do,
definitely receive
um,
donations.
And Christmas presents.
Yes, we have a lot of our benches have been a donation, where citizens want to donate a bench with their family member's name. And so we do have the protocol of how we need to go with donations. We need to get the donations approved, and once they're approved, then we can let whoever is donating, the approval notice for them to proceed, and then we'll have to allocate that. And all that is because we need to submit all the donations with the regulations of if it's a certain amount, so the financial department can go ahead and record it correctly for audits and so forth. But we definitely can take donation.
And I think as long as you were to be, you know, fundraising as an individual and not like, you know, as a member of the Parks
Okay.
Board.
Okay.
That'd be sufficient enough to like be aligned with the ordinance, But if you did want to fundraise, like as a member of the Park Board, I think that would be something that would need to be approved by the council, just under the current ordinance. And that's the board ordinance I'm referring to, by the way, not the Parks ordinance we were discussing earlier.
I would like that very much.
Yeah,
And a perfect example of a donation is the scoreboard that we're placing. And that was, we got that one to improve, but we also already have an approval. We had approved a donation for another scoreboard for, was it for Manuel Payne?
from Manuel.
For Manuel Payne from the Carter,
One, well, the
yes.
the
So
league itself.
the league itself, so I mean, they were wanting to donate that scoreboard, it's been approved. Then again, we're,
To the school, see what's gonna happen.
we're waiting to see what happens, so I mean, it's approved, but. Until they say yes and purchase, they give us the information. But that's a perfect example of what we can do with our fields and parks with donations.
I'd like to know more when you have your needs, you know.
Mhm.
And, you know, it's my first day, I'm gonna be reading everything and, I'll be visiting the parks too.
Needs, well, we definitely have our wish list, right? I mean, we.
Well, I would like to see that list.
The wish list, yes, it can go as far as exercising equipment for seniors, for handicapped. With splash pads, I mean,
I would love a grant for the walking track there. Because it's just, I mean, we got two choices.
Yes.
Yeah, we could either put curb all the way around and pavement in the inside to retain it, or do it like Saros where it's all concrete. But that would be good.
in the previous board meeting, we've mentioned his wish list was also including artificial turf for like the soccer fields and our little league fields, I mean. If it's according to wish list, I mean, we definitely have it.
Can we hold one together?
We definitely can work together.
Would you be so kind?
Yes,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much.
We can have that list, that wish list, our next
Yeah,
Parks board meeting,
And keep adding to it.
yeah.
and
Thank you so much.
the agenda deadlines are 7 days ahead of the meeting. So if you ever want to add anything to the next meeting, just do it 7 days in advance and we can get it on the agenda for that.
Noted.
Right, any other comments? No? Meeting adjourned at 6:58 PM.